So I am still quite a small YouTuber, but even I get emails quite often to offer me products and things to use and try out and promote. Most of them, to be honest, are absolute crap. A lot of offers for jewellery, so these guys or girls are not obviously looking at the channel. However, there are some exceptions to that. One time I got a Insta360 One X, which is quite a good wee camera. I use that quite a lot now. And most recently I had an email from Tom, who works for Tannus, and to be honest I hadn't ever heard of Tannus before, and they have offered me their take on rim protection. So I have been running the Victoria airliner. In fact, wait a minute, just keep filming. This Victoria airliner, been running this in the rear tyre only. It's actually been quite good, quite successful. Run it on flat when I did get a puncture, managed to finish my runs, no problem. Generally speaking, I think it's saved the rear rim quite a few times, especially out here in Spain with the really chunky rocks, square edged hits. So it served me well. However, I'm going to try this new system sent to me by Tannus and see if it's any good. So here it is, nice simple box. You will notice an inner tube. That is, some of you might think that's a backward step, but I think it's quite a good idea. We'll get into that in a minute. Luckily for me, most of the information is in the back. So as you can see, it offers protection not only from the bottom, or the actual contact patch, but it also offers some protection, like a jacket, around the tube for the sides. Increased grip, run lower pressures. I am a big fan of running low pressures, wet conditions and loose rocks. Increased comfort, so the actual jacket itself, which we'll look at in a minute, is quite thick at the contact patch, so that is an absorption, takes the vibrations out of it, so we'll see what the dampening is like in that. Fast rolling, apparently, we'll see if it actually lives up to that expectation. Easy installation, I really hope so. 40 seconds, maybe not for this video, but hopefully when I get the hang of it. And you can still run on flat even when the inner tube has gone. So these are all the manufacturer's claims, of course, but if they are properly, if it's true, then we're on to a winner. So the main thing for me is the ability to run a tube. Now for me that means you don't have to run tubeless sealant. You can carry a spare tube with you and it's nice and easy to replace. But hopefully you get all the benefits of a tubeless setup, or the feel of a tubeless setup anyway. So in the box, what have we got? Butterfingers. Okay, that's everything. Yeah, well, this is as simple as you might expect. It's a bit lively. There we go, there we go. Yeah, so it's obviously made for your wheel size, so you don't cut it. You get either, I think you get 26s. Yep, you get 26, 27.5 and 29. Mine's a 27.5. It's rubbery. It's not foam, it is rubber. Thinner on the sides, definitely feels like about 15mm of play on the top part, so that's your traction damping part. There's also a line here that you can cut to if your tyre is smaller. I'm running a 2.6 and I'm going to keep the same tyre just for continuity to see directly how this differs from the airliner. But I obviously won't need to cut to this line because I've got a big fat tyre. This looks straightforward. Hopefully it is. Let's go try it. Before we go any further, I'm actually going to weigh the wheel with this tyre and the Victoria airliner and just see what the total is. 2 kilos, 850 grams. Okay, this should be as simple as it gets. Just pop it into the tyre. Yep, nice and simple. So now it's time for an inner tube, which is quite unusual. Back to the old school. I'm going to pump this up a little and hopefully this just goes straight in. That'll do. Of course, we need to remove the old tubeless valve. This could be fun. I need this. I put my tubeless valves on pretty tight, so that was actually relatively pain-free. I'll get that valve through first, and then tuck it in. So I think I need to just get one layer at a time, so obviously got 2 extra layers with this red jacket. So one side of the red jacket, then the tube, then the other side of the red jacket, and then the tyre. That might be the way to do it. Alex, stop filming. No, seriously. It's genuinely not actually that long since we switched the camera off. And I'm just about there. Just need to be a bit more systematic and methodical. Chase it bit by bit. And we're making some progress. Okay. One. Oh, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. And it has. Right, straighten this up. Lock the valve in. Right, just a final little movement the whole way around just to make sure everything's within the rim and seated right. It's already got some substance to it despite having little to no air. Let's pump it up. So, my previous setup with the Victoria airliner, I ran 22 psi at the rear and 20 at the front. So I'm going to go with the same pressures to start off with and then work on it from there. Apparently you can run really low pressures with this, but I suppose the same is true for any sort of rim protection. You need to go up towards about 40 to get the bead still seat in first. Right, she's beaded. Let's get it down to 20. 22. That was actually not all that difficult. I tell you, it feels quite solid, because that jacket is now pushed right out to the outside wall, and we've got an extra 10-15mm soft rubbery compound behind the tyre right at the top, so it actually noticeably dampened. I already feel like I can take some air out it to get that same kind of feel, but we'll test it like this just now. I have a strong feeling with it being an inner tube and that jacket is going to weigh a little bit more, so we're aiming to be as close to 2 kilos 850 grams as possible. Let's go try it. Okay, so we've gained 250 grams. So I think the jacket probably weighs the same, but the tube is that extra weight. I'm going to assume that the extra weight is the tube and that the jacket actually weighs about the same as the airliner. So we have gained 1/4 kilo. If it's good and reliable and it feels good, then of course it's worth it. Bearing in mind this is a fairly heavy duty tyre, quite a big tyre. Not the lightest of wheels, big massive cassette, so my wheel weighs more than probably what yours would with the same setup. So I'm going to stick it on the bike and go for a wee test ride. Okay, the car park test is not really telling me anything. The tyre feels good, it feels full, feels protected on a sidewall, but until I get on the trail I'm not really going to know exactly how it feels. So I'm going to take it to the trail a few times, experiment with pressures, compare it to how the front feels with nothing in it, and I'll make another video on how it performs. So yeah, I'm interested, curious. Seems like a good reliable setup, especially for enduro, slash a sidewall. You can still put a new tube in and you can still run. So yeah, it's probably quite a dependable system, and for me, that's kind of king. So let's see how it goes, and I'll get back to you and make another video on its performance. Thanks for watching, guys.